All right, you guys. All right, no. Hypervigilance, Claude Rains, no. Morgan Hill, Hulk Hogan. What's up, Fast Ass Dave? Máquina Listo. What World? Al A. Big Josh, Manuel Martinez. GS, Dancing Bear. Damage, Alex True. Ghostwatch, Sandman, Foseb, Raul. What's up, Tech? All right, you guys, let me start out by by just saying a couple things real quick, man. As I mentioned to you guys yesterday, man, the homie Jerry Chavez or Jerry Salazar.
Got my name.
Yeah, I get you mixed up, man. Salazar agreed to come on, man. It's an honor and a privilege to have him on the channel, man. We both been through similar situations. You know, I know how it was for me when I first came on YouTube. Social media wasn't a friend of mine, man. You guys all know why. Let me just say this too, man. Since you know, I've had this channel, and since I've seen other people have guest speakers on their channels, man, people have always used the word legendary. That's not a word that I just throw around, you know, because I want views, or because somebody did time in the 80s, or because I think they're a legend. It's because they're well stamped in our history, in some of the history, man. As you guys know, those of you that know the history, the homie right here was a big part of the history in the 90s, man. I got some questions that I'm gonna run through. I know some of you guys submitted some questions. We're gonna get straight into it. Jerry, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on there, bro.
Thank you. What up, fellas? What up?
That's right.
It's an honor and a privilege to be on here, bro.
Appreciate you, man. We're gonna get straight into it, bro. They got a lot of questions. I ran them through. Some of them through them to you earlier, man. So this might end up being a two-part thing. But besides that, I'm gonna try to get you on there as much as I can, bro.
Yeah.
So let me get straight into it, bro. Foremost, what neighborhood are you from out there in San Jose, bro?
I was from the east side, bro. You know, I used to hang around with Triple LS, but when I was a kid, but mainly just the east side because I wanted that unity, and you know, I wasn't about a barrio because it's just like my homeboys were at Brigadoon Park. I used to kick it over there, so that's when I was walking, and so I used to kick it over there. But it's just like I was just from the east side, right there by Lake Cunningham. That's where I live.
Okay. What kind of upbringing did you go through?
I was born in Salt Lake City, Utah, and then my parents, you know, they got separated. I came over here at 12 with my mom, and we moved right in the heart of the east side. So it's just like, and that's where I started stealing and started getting this and that, and you know, just like stealing cars, all kinds of, you know, the way it was back then. You know,
I didn't know you were from Utah, bro.
Yeah, I was born and raised out there.
So when you guys moved out, to San Jose from Utah, man. How long did it take right there on the east side? How long did it take for you to start getting involved with street gangs?
Oh, real quick, because there was gang members across the street. So it's just like, so I used to hang around with them all the time, and they took me under their wing, and you know, it's just like that's when I started going to August Boger, and then I went to Mount Pleasant. And
Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, I got kicked out first day at Mount Pleasant. Got in a fight with the teacher. You know, so it's just like like my mom, she would go to King and Story because mom's a thug, right? So moms used to go to King and Story, and she used to get all the people from King and Story, and they used to come to the pad, and man, we had a whole stinking King and Story down at the pad, and this was what 80, 81, 82, somewhere on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My mom was the same way, bro.
yeah, she was straight thugging.
Yeah.
Mom's
Yeah,
gangster.
I talk a little bit about it, man. It's like, man, our moms sometimes, man. I don't like to use the word enabler, bro, but they almost become like I developed like a homegirl, homeboy relationship with my mom, bro. She was like my dog, man. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I had. She's my mom's more of my friend than she is my mom. You know, it's
Yeah,
just like when she tries to be my mom, I tell her, "Shut up, relax, relax,
yeah.
woman. You're only 5'1". Relax."
And so I know this kind of ties into your story, bro. When did you start getting into trouble as an adolescent and as an adult? And did you go to CYA?
Well, I started getting in trouble. Right, we started slinging. We started slinging KJ, and that's when I moved down by Blossom Hill because we're dealing big time back down there. So I moved down there, and then I started selling to an undercover cop, right? And I didn't know he was undercover because he was a homeboy's brother. I don't know if you know him, Barney Torres, Roach. He was in a wheelchair. He was in our. Well, anyway, his brother Gil Torres was DEA agent. I didn't know he was all tattooed down. You know, Barney
Yeah,
did all kinds of tattoos. When I hit the county, Barney was telling me, "Man, that's my brother. I did all kinds of tattoos. He's DEA agent." I said, "Man, I didn't know that." Well, anyway, they bust me, and then they bust me, my mom's, her old man, and her old man's cousin, and we ended up going to the county jail. And then that's when I took a deal saying, "Let go, my mom go." So I made a deal, and then I got CYA. I got
damn, bro.
yeah. So she was let go, and then I went to CYA for I went to Perkins for dorm 6, I think. Yeah, dorm 6 for about a month, and then they wouldn't because they were going to send me down to YTS, right? And then before I knew it, I was on the next thing smoking the Vacaville. So it's just like they said I was going to be housed away, but it was tricky. It was a trick. So I went to I ended up in Vacaville. So it's just like, and I was youngster. I was 18 years old. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah. And that's crazy, man. The parallels, bro. I ended up catching the case with my mom's the same way, bro. Ended
Yeah,
up taking the case and shit, man. That's a trip.
yeah. You always got to take care of moms. You
Oh,
know.
most definitely,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
And she brought the blocker to me, bro.
yeah.
You know. Um. So when did you first go to prison? What year was that?
This was the end of '85, early '86, somewhere on there. Yeah, end of '85, early '86. So it's just like that's when I first started going, and um, a lot of people ain't up on Vacaville, right? Vacaville at that time was the reception center. You only had two reception centers. That was
I
Vacaville,
remember
the
it.
green side, and then the blue side was Overflow, and then you had Chino for down south, right? And so I went to Vacaville green side. I think I was in Y dorm, and then I went to T wing, right? So I stood over there for about 4 months, I think, 4 months on the green side, and then they endorsed me to Vacaville and Mainline. So I said, cool. So I went to the blue side, and that became my home for the next year, I think, a year and a half, because in '87 they sent me to Chino because I was they couldn't catch me because I was bringing in the clavo, but they
Yeah.
couldn't catch me. They couldn't catch me. So what they did was retaliation. Back then, you would go on bus rides, but the bus ride. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Bus rides take you all throughout the state. You didn't know where in the hell you would end up at. Well,
Yeah.
they retaliation. They sent me down south to Chino. So I was just like, oh shit.
Palmetto. Yeah, which brings me to the next question, bro. I barely caught the tail end of the 80s, but how was prison in the 80s, bro?
That prison was shot out. No, actually, it was cool, bro. It was cool
Yeah,
because I ain't gonna say it was shot out because I'm saying mentally it was shot out because you get used to it. You get used to that freedom. You get used to. I mean, we had pork chops for dinner. Come on, man. Double hamburgers because um, a lot of old timers would know that we used to have yard ducats, so that was money because they had a yard shack out there. So
Right.
we get $1 ducat at canteen, so we get like $50, $100 ducats, and just sling them all day long. Hamburgers, pork chop. We were living large, bro. So it's just like, and the reception center back then was a breeding ground for the NR and NF. So it's just like that's when the NR was just established, barely came
Right.
into the establishment. So it's just like, so I was one of the first ones that heard about it and started messing with them. Now, let me go back to the streets, right? Okay, at
Most
16
definitely.
years old, 16 years old, I got my accident, right? That's what left me paralyzed. So
Right.
uh, uh, they stole the homeboy's car across the street, right? He was my mom's husband. So they stole his car, and I said, you know what? I go,
OG.
we'll put it out in the streets. Who stole the car? So we found out who stole the car, right? And then we went up to his front door, knocked on it, pulled him out, and said, you know what? Check this out. You're going to steal back our shit, no matter what. And he goes, I don't know how to hotwire a car. So I'll go with you to hotwire a car. I ain't tripping. So me and the homeboy went, and then he was driving the car. We had everything, the hydraulics, everything. I was in the back of the truck. So when I was in the back of the truck, homeboy knew he was going to get his ass whipped, right? So he jumped out of the truck, let the truck go into a tree, and I flew out and broke my back, and I broke 7 ribs. I was bleeding internally, and then the homeboy went through the windshield. He pulled himself out of the windshield. We were still down the street from the house, so he picked me up and put me on the driveway and called my mom's, right? Told her, hey, something's matter with him. I couldn't breathe, right? So they took me to the hospital. And I remember going in and out, but I remember waking up and looking at my mom. She was crying. And I go, what's the matter, Mom? She goes, they said you'll never walk again. And I'm like, well, why are you crying? It happened to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I dealt with it, being a little thug out there. It's just like she'd give me $10. I'd go buy some tequila, get drunk, flip over on the curb. I was just straight. I didn't give a fuck anymore. I just, it's just like half of my body was dead. Might as well get the other half. Fuck it. So that was my mentality at 16 years old. So it's just like you gotta understand that that builds craziness in your head. It's
Most
just
definitely, homie.
mental health.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to deal with, it, especially at 16 years old, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, these questions came later, but I always was under the impression too, man, that like when you first got in trouble and then you went to see why they were gonna send you to YA, but then they couldn't accommodate you, so they ended up sending you to prison.
Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah, they ended up saying they couldn't accommodate me, so they ended up sending me to prison. And then even over there, man, it's just like that whole thing was a shamble, bro. It's just like because when they sent me to Chino, for instance, right? They said they couldn't put my wheelchair in the cell, so they had me crawling. The majority of my time when I was in oil was crawling around that cell, because I would never had my wheelchair. And I'll get back to the county jail when I got busted for the indictment, right? I sued the county because they said I was making weapons out of my wheelchair, which I was, but it's just like, but I mean, they
I'd be
can't take
taking my
away your
scopes too.
yeah, they can't take away your wheelchair. So and that's when ADA rights came about. So it's just like I didn't know nothing about ADA rights, so I sued the county, and I that's when they moved me from the North Max with the fellows to special housing.
I remember when you guys got convicted, bro. I don't know if it was a rumor, but I had always heard that when they sent you up, that they had built a cell or something like that to accommodate you over there. It was either in Mill Creek or one of the prisons, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know how true. Was that
No,
true?
okay, in Corcoran, right?
In Corcoran.
In PHU, they were trying to set up a cell for me, but I didn't want to say no PHU. Fuck that PHU. I wanted to go to the 50-50 yard, which is Mule Creek. Well, Mule Creek, they set up a cell for me. I spent 10 years over there. They set up a cell. Everything. Yeah, they set up a cell for me, everything. And, I wasn't trying to make no waves. I was just happy to be on the 50-50 yard instead of being in that damn protective housing unit.
Most definitely, bro. See,
that man said I look young.
Hey, you do, bro. You still got your whole crop too, man.
Yeah.
Prison, they either kill you or preserve you, man.
Yeah,
So
56 years old.
how was it being a young Norteño back in those days when you went to the joint, bro? When you
Oh,
went to
bro,
prison?
it was
That's when the NR was strong. Yeah.
we were strong in you see, like I said, Vacaville was a breeding ground, you know, so it's just like a lot of structure members were fed the format and the bonds through Vacaville, the blue side. As they came through, we tried to recruit them and send them off to different pintas. So that's what built our stronghold, you know. Built That's exactly what built our stronghold was you know, recruiting them, teaching them, and sending them off. And then we had different channels throughout the pintas, who knowing which carnal was on what yard, what bro was on what yard, and that's how you know the stronghold was, you know, as far as the NR was concerned, because Vacaville was the only reception center, so they had to come
Right.
through.
So is that Howard? Is that when you got hooked up with the NR? With the NR, how did they approach you? How did that happen?
Okay, I was in Norteño, right? I was a sympathizer, and what happened was I was willing to take out knives for the structure. You know, it's just like because you know they fed me the format, and I believed wholeheartedly in it because you know these carnales were holding down, you know, Folsom, Tracy. You know, it's just like they were fighting for the cause. So any threat or anything that came to the yard, I would take out the knives for them. So it's just like, and then I started gradually, you know, getting, you know, uh, attracted to the structure. But it's hard for them to approach me because I'm in a wheelchair. You know, how much
Yeah.
work can I put in? You know, but they didn't know what I was capable of doing. They didn't know my heart. You know, all they knew was I was willing to sacrifice, you know, taking a knife out to the yard for them, you know, and, you know, I was a strong sympathizer for them at that time. So it's just like before I went to Chino, that's when I was pulled by Sleepy John Romero.
That was my criminal mentor, who I always also mention in my book, man.
Yeah, he's a
It's a
dangerous
trip.
dude, man. Dangerous
Yes,
dude.
trip how small the world is, bro. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, he's a dangerous dude. Dangerous dude. You know, he's just like he'll kill you in a heartbeat. You know, I think he picked up two murders in Vacaville and an attempted murder.
Yeah.
So he was a dangerous dude.
Yeah, he lived with me when I was my mom's took him in, bro, when I was like 15, 16, and me and that dude, man, we wreaked havoc on the streets, bro.
Yeah,
Home invasions, robberies, man. He taught me all that shit, bro.
yeah.
But
In
it's
fact,
true,
your
huh?
your homeboy Chino, Thomas Gomez,
Yeah.
yeah, Filipino dude. You know,
Yep.
Filipino Latino. He was in oil with me in W Wing when I came back uh, for hitting Little Pups, Alavencia.
That's
You
who
know,
pulled me, man, as
yeah,
a hermano. It's a
yeah,
small world, bro.
yeah,
Paul Alavencia.
yeah. No, he was his little brother, Benny Alavencia. Yeah,
Yeah. Hey,
yeah,
so
yeah.
um
Paul is Big Pups.
yeah, Puerto Rican pup. That's the
Yeah,
one that
Puerto
pulled
Rican
me,
Pups.
Paul. So the NR eventually would approach you because what I was trying to break down to these guys or explain to them, man, is like when I got recruited, it meant something to be an NR member. It was everything was in secrecy, bro. The bonds, to see the bonds was like a major thing back then.
Oh
If you
hell
got
yeah,
to see the bonds, it was like, damn, bro. You know what I mean? They were sacred. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And you got
Now
it.
it's different, bro. It's
That's
a
your
lot
life.
different.
That's your
Yeah,
life. Them 14 bonds are your life. Once you get them 14 bonds, you know you made a commitment. You know you made a sacrifice for something. And I don't know if you were schooled this way as far as the Cat 3s on the structure. You know, you had to bring a body. You know, just to be an NF member,
yeah,
you had to bring a body. You know, it's just like, but you had to go through them cycles. You had to hold down a tier. You know, you had to, and back then it's just like a lot of people were illiterate. You know, a lot of homeboys were illiterate because they dropped out high school, whatever. And then we got the seasoned homeboys who had a strong mentality on them to make them, you know, overall security or hold a position within, you know, the tier or you know within the yard, right? So it's just like that's but we would school a lot of people. Like when I was in the oil, and I was overall in there. Man, I was schooling homeboys like crazy, telling them write essays, right, 10,000 word essays or whatever for sleeping on a chair. But they would send me their essays, and it'd be misspelled. It'd be the punctuation would be off, and then I'd fix it up for them, send it back down. Now rewrite it. And put spell the word right. So
Right.
they would. It was a learning experience for the homeboys.
Yeah.
So it's just like we taught them, and it meant something to us. Not like nowadays it's just shot out, man. Nowadays it's just like, and then there wasn't that many carnales. In
Yeah.
fact, I was over there with Pantera, Pablo Peña.
Yeah.
He was on the I was on the yard side. He was on the other side but we would communicate through the vents. He was a good dude, man. Sharp.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm tied into him too, bro.
Yeah, it's well, if you've been about that business, if you've been about everybody's tied together. Everybody
Yeah.
knows everybody.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and my thing was I picked up a well, anyway, I went to Chino, right, and I got hit over there. They threw a bomb under myself,
Who did?
because the Sureños, the MNAB. So I don't know which one it was, but when I went to Chino, there's two reception centers. There's one across the street, and there's one over here, right, by the infirmary. I don't know if you've been to Chino, or whoever been to Chino. You have two prisons, right? One on this side and one on this side. When you go down the road, Palm Hall's on this side. So I was on the R&R on this side, waiting to get, put wherever I was going to be put. Well, the sergeant came up to me and she saw the 14 on my neck, and she goes, "You can't be here." And I go, "Why not?" And she goes, "Cause you're a norteño." I said, "I ain't nothing. I'm put me on the main line." And I already had a pedazo keistered, but I was ready to take off because they told me take off on anybody that's in R&R. So I couldn't find nobody. There was nobody there. So then
Yeah.
they sent me to Palm Hall, and homeboys already gave me the layout. They said, when you go to Palm Hall, go to the third floor because that's where all the homies are, right? Don't go to the second floor or the first floor. Well, I didn't have a choice. They put me on the first floor. So there was nothing but A, B, and M. So they were asking me where I was from, and I said, "Man, I'm from Whittier." And they said, "Whittier? What part of Whittier?" And I said, "Man, check this out. I'm an Norteño. Do whatever the fuck you guys want to do." Right? I already knew I had it coming. So
Yeah.
next morning, I saw the thing go under my cell. I just put the mattress up. Booyah, razor blades, sticking staples.
Yeah, that's what I told these
everything,
guys, man. I
glass,
told
everything.
them, yeah, back in those days when we used to be able to get sulfur, the matches, they used to pass them out with supplies that you can take the sulfur and you can take the pieces of the zipper and broken razor blades and make shrapnel.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We used to learn all that shit, man.
Glass, everything, and
Yeah.
it's all through the match heads. A lot of people don't know weaponry. It's just like, come on, man. We're schooled that way. We're schooled to know that stuff, so it's just like, long story short, I was bombed, and the shrapnel, everything, it got my legs, but, it got the mattress, basically. So I was moved from there, and they moved me across the street to the infirmary, right? And then I spent 4 months over there. Man, I hated Chino, bro. It's just like, it smelled like shit every morning, cow shit. It just sucked, So when I got back to Vacaville, they put me in the oil, and that's again, took away my wheelchair. But this time, my mentality was I was already a structure. I was already a bro, right? So my mentality was do anything for the cause, right? So the day before I was supposed to go home, I was going home November 27th, right? And they couldn't find there was a hit going down on Pretty T from Stockton, right? So they told me, Pretty T from Stockton, right? And he was a dropout. So
I know who he is.
The homeboy Night Owl was supposed to go take care of it. So
looking out, Ray.
But they didn't have nobody to take out the pedazo. So I said, "Man, I'll do it." And they said, "Man, you're going home tomorrow." I said, "Check this out. I've been taking. Ain't no fear here, bro. I'll take it out." I took it out, got away with it, everything like that. Gave it to the homeboy. He went to go do the hit. Pretty T ran to the tower. He came back and tried to hand me the pedazo back. I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Get out of here!" By that time, the squad's already on me, and I got that's when the the A1 status, the A1 offenses, they went
Right.
from A1A, they went from 300, 180 days to 360 days. So they
Right.
found me guilty on the 115 and gave me 360 days. You know, a lot of old timers, they're probably, because for a murder back then, you only get
Yeah.
180 days, loss of
Yeah.
credit. You know, but now they changed it to a year. So that's when now it still holds to a year. But that was in 87. So I picked up the year, but the DA picked it up. So I was going back and forth to court, me and the homeboy Fernie, you know. So, but I was still on the tier with sleepers. I mean, there was like about 10 bros on there, and Pantera was still there. And then he went to Hatchby.
Yeah.
But,
We're gonna get into all that, man.
yeah.
Hey, how many years total, real quick, have you done, bro? How much time you done total?
Total 26. 20,
Palmetto?
yeah.
26
26.
years?
Yeah, 26.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice little chunk of change, man.
Hell yeah, especially straight. You know, the last one was straight. And that shit, a couple of decades behind them walls ain't no joke.
Yeah. So that was so my next question is well, you already answered that, but it was, when did you get hooked up with the NR? Who pulled you, and how was the recruitment process back then? Um, how was the movement, the cause, or the inner circle back then? But you kind of already explained that. Thank you,
Yeah,
Anthony.
we're tight, bro. It meant something to us to get schooled every single day. You know, in a whole, that's all you got. That's all you got is time to get educated. You know, educated about our history. You know, our
Yes, sir.
history, the NF's history. You know, the structure history, how it formed. And right then in 80, I think I was in the whole 87 through 88. I got out in 88, and it was just like it was a time for schooling. In fact, I hooked up with when I got out the first couple of days I was out. I went to a concert and I don't know if you know him, Angel from Daly City.
That's my boy, Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, I hooked up with
Yeah,
him.
I mentioned him last night on a live. I was telling you guys about pulling him off the first tier when he went down to the first tier.
He has long
Yeah,
hair.
to run around with him. He had a long
Yeah,
tail. He did a lot of
yeah,
time in Tehachapi
yeah,
in
yeah.
the shoe.
I hooked up with him a couple of days out. I got out in '88, and
Yeah,
he was still rocking it back then. So it's just
solid
like,
little dude, man.
yeah, he's a solid dude, man. The cut up, he was working out like crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a solid dude, man.
And just so you guys know, again, man, when I first talked to Jerry about coming on the show, or coming on the channel, he he said he didn't want nothing. He didn't want nothing for coming on. His whole purpose was to help the youth, and he said that any donations that were made, he wanted to go to the Uvalde kids, man. So what we're gonna do is anything that comes in tonight, is gonna go to they got a GoFundMe page. I had Sandman look all that stuff up already. So whatever donations you guys are making tonight, that's where it's going, and that's through Jerry.
Yeah, let's help these kids out, man. Come on, let's help these
Most
kids out.
definitely, man.
Help them out, because them kids didn't deserve to die, man.
Yeah, that's another. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I just did a spill on that, man. But
yeah, I heard it. It's just like them. If you get part of a belief system and you go with it, just like a lot of people don't understand our belief system, like the way we think. Why do you go all out for this cause or anything like that? Just like the military, you don't know what you're fighting for. You're fighting for a country, right?
King
Just
Kong
like
balls. Thank you,
same
brother.
mentality. We have the same
Yeah.
mentality. Come on, man. You just have an AK-47. We have a zip gun or something in our.
Good looking out, Palmetto again, man. Hey, so much
Hey,
respect,
thank you guys, man. Good looking out.
So this kind of ties into. So how was it for you being in a wheelchair? How were you able to maintain your respect within that lifestyle, and how were you able to overcome what some would call a huge disadvantage?
Well, it's just
You know, big figures.
going above and beyond, what they call for. It's just like if somebody needed to be hit, I hit an AB right next door to me. He's sleeping towards his head was towards the thing. Just killed a chomo, right? gave me some gruesome ass pictures, and cut out his tongue, everything. Dude killed him in T wing or U wing. He killed him, but they sent him in the W wing, and there were some gruesome ass pictures. The tongue was hanging way over here. I was like, damn, you got off, homeboy. But I made him feel comfortable. And then
Yeah.
when he slept, like it was our cheer time because we had like 5 cells cheer time, and so I came out right, and I seen his head towards the bar. I said, man, give me some baby oil real quick. I like this motherfucker on fire. So all of a sudden, I lit him, took down the road, and all of a sudden you hear ah, and I was like, shut up, man, shut up, get some water, shut up. And the cops came and got him and took him out.
And you would think a fucking AB would know better than to sleep with his head by the bars. That's like
He was in school.
no number one, man. Huh?
Yeah, he was in school. You know,
Yeah.
but it's just like I'm not, like I said, it's just like in them times you would just do anything. Like for instance, we hit Tree from Hayward or Oakland. You know Tree?
Yeah, from Oakland.
Yeah, me and Sleepers hit him. Right, I took the pedazo out, but Sleepers hit him, almost killed him. Man, he got an attempted murder, got 4 years for it. But it's just like, but you hear them, the Mini 14, the gunshots coming by your head, and you're like, because I was on a shitter. You know, when I passed it to him, I was pretending like I was taking the shit. But man, I had to take a shit afterwards. I just believe that. Because you hear
homeboy, did homeboy at least let you get up, man?
No, well, he went did the hit, but I had to sit there while he came back, flushed it down the toilet. Right, I was scared. Okay. I was scared shitless. But you know, you had to do them type of things. You know, in order to prove yourself. You know, because they had me on a separate yard because of my wheelchair. So, again, they put me on that yard, and they didn't give me my wheelchair because I was making weapons out of it. I was, but it's just like, give me my damn wheelchair, give me something, you know. But I think that's why I got stronger. You know, I got stronger mentally and physically. You know, by just crawling around. You know, because I crawled around my cell. Every cell I went to, I crawled around because they would never give me my wheelchair. So,
yeah, I think I spoke on it last night, man. It's a trip though how the human body will improvise. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, you see some of these people that don't have arms and they learn how to feed themselves with their feet, pick up a spoon and but I can just you know what I mean? Can imagine how tough it must have been, bro, for you to be in that environment in a wheelchair too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially
it's bad enough.
Yeah.
When we have our legs, you know what I mean? Being in some of those war zones, bro. But
yeah, you know, I just when I made that commitment, box, it's just like I dedicated my life to it. It didn't. My hyena didn't mean nothing because I was married. She didn't mean nothing to me. My mom didn't mean nothing. It was just straightforward with the cause. You know, because back then it's just like I joined, you know, because the carnales or the people that came before me, the those that came before me, had these strongholds on these yards, had these strongholds. You know, they gave up their life for the cause. So my thing was, hey, I'm gonna give back money for them. You know, so it's just like I'm gonna give back money to help them out. You know, and that was my whole thinking was, okay, I'm gonna get out. When I get out, I'm gonna make sure they have money, you know. So that was my whole frame of mind, you know. And it was a different belief system back then. It wasn't all wars. It wasn't all these fighting amongst, you know, within a civil war. It wasn't about that, man. We had peace, you know. We had unity, you know. Especially the NR was it was strong, bro. It was strong.
I remember, man.
There was a lot of NR members.
Hey, CEO, and some of you, man, the wrenches were took because, as you guys know, of a rogue moderator, man. But I got you, CEO. You're a day oneer, man. You guys would get them back. It was something we had to do, man, because somebody was kicking people. People, you know, they were blocking them. You know what I mean? So don't even trip. I got you, man. So. And did you ever feel like people pressed you harder because you were in a wheelchair, or that you had to go further to prove your loyalty and position within that lifestyle?
At first it was, but it's just like once I got out, And once that regiment started functioning, uh, I don't think I had to press it because everybody started treating me like everybody else. You know, in fact, there was more asked of me. You know, because I had the knowledge. You know, I was a little bit of intelligence. You know, I know how the street regiment ran. You know, because it's just like through experience. Because I was one of the first ones that got out. So, and that was my whole thing when I got out was I was supposed to establish a regiment out there. You know, because those who had followed me were big hitters.
I
So
remember.
I already knew they were coming out. But it was me and Louis Chavez were the first ones to come out. So I already knew, and Skip was already out there. So I already knew what time it was. I said, okay, I'm gonna build this. I'm gonna build this. Okay, I'm gonna do this. And they said, nobody's gonna expect you, Jerry, because you're in the wheelchair, and nobody knows that anything about you. So I said, all right.
This is I got all these questions already written down. This is off kind of off course, but I remember Marty Lomas, G Fizzle, myself,
Oh yeah,
Flacco.
Flaco.
Yeah, did ask if Silent used to kick it with Marty Lomas because those two were hella tight in Preston in '82.
Yeah, yeah, Marty
Yeah,
Lomas. I used to kick with Marty Lomas in '80 when he got out in '83.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but
Lightweight J Cat, he's a good dude though.
yeah.
Oh, hey, how was Skip out there? I know you got a lot of respect for Skip
Yeah,
still
I
to this
do,
day,
and
man.
that's one of the things I don't want to, as far as the NF or anything like that. I don't want to become a stomach block to them, because a lot of them are still, you know, gave up their life, for something that I believe that once. It's just like, and I have a lot of respect for Skip, Pinky, because I know him on a personal level. It's
Right.
just like, and Skip he was dealing he was his thing was dealing drugs back then, and he was good at it because he had Blancos in pocket, so it's just like he helped us out a lot, man. I don't want to touch on too much on what happened between that whole uh, situation because
Most
it's
definitely.
not necessary because it's just like uh, I was led the wrong way. Just put it that way. I was
Yeah.
led the wrong way, and me and Skip had a little bit of problems, but we straightened it up. So it's cool now. But that individual who, well, I'm gonna put him out there, Louis Chavez. He I didn't know he was working with the cops. None of us did. So
Right.
he led me the wrong way, and it's easy to fall into that kind of manipulation if you're not aware. You know, um, so you have to always keep your eyes open. Your antennas up, and have some smarts because you'll get caught up like everybody else.
Yeah. Anybody could get misled by somebody like Louis Chavez.
Yeah.
Before he went, uh, before he went in that other direction, he had a lot of respect out there on the streets.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
You
was
know
with
what I
him in
mean?
Vacaville. I was with him in
Yeah.
Vacaville, and when he got out, I guess gave that hit list, whatever, But it was just like me and him were supposed to start that regiment, and then when Silent got out, once Silent got out, I was at JP's, and he pulled up. I didn't know who in the hell he was, and he asked me where Louis was. I was like, man, I don't know you. I'm not gonna tell you who he is.
All
And
right,
then
Salvador.
so well, I need to get in touch with them. I said, well, give me your number. I'll tell them to get in touch with you. Because you're not supposed to give up our Carnat's business. So
Right.
but I didn't know he was Carnat too. He didn't expose himself. So they hooked up, and before I knew it, he was Carnat, and I was answering questions to him. But he told
Yeah.
me I did the right thing.
Did Silent live on the south side of San Jose when he was a kid?
I don't know. I
So
didn't know
let's
him as a kid. I knew him. I knew him when he got out. Until he got busted, I got in a car wreck with him.
so you already kind of answered this on me, but when you made a commitment to the familia, you had to agree to put the familia first before everything in your life, namely your wife, kids, biological family, and everything else you were once loyal to. Why did you feel like this was a righteous undertaking, and what was it about becoming a seed that made you place these things second in your life?
Okay, first, back then we had the choice of uh, functioning out in the streets. That was given to us. A lot of people. It wasn't that way a couple of years after they took that from us. But we had the choice of either going out and functioning, or uh, but if you got busted, you had to function behind the walls no matter what. If you came back. But if you wanted to function behind the walls, let somebody know so they can hook you up with somebody. Well, I was that person. I raised my hand, said, "I'll go out there and function. I ain't scared." Because I believed wholeheartedly in the cause. It's
Right.
just like I was willing to give up my life. And like I said earlier, like that mentality of me, half the body was dead and the other half wanted to be dead too. It was still there. And I didn't give up. About
Yeah.
nothing. I didn't care. I didn't care. I was cool.
Got one from Josh right there. Where you go, Josh? Was there a time commitment under the NR required before becoming a C?
What was that?
Was there a time commitment under the NR required? Did you have to be an NR member for a certain period of time?
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah! You had to bring a body. You had to bring a body before coming to see. That was the whole purpose of the NR. To see who was the soldiers and who wasn't before you became a carnal, because they were pulling people as a carnal, and it wasn't working because people would drop out in the back of a police car, and then I'll bring up Lencho later, but it's just like, but it's just like that was a whole purpose of not getting pulled as a C, to have them have a strong soldier who held down the terror, who brought a body, it wasn't just any body, it was a body for the carnal, the NF, plain and simple. Yeah.
Specifically for the purpose of the familia. It wasn't like you go out and kill your ex old lady or your ex old lady's old man. Something like it had to be for the familia, bro.
Yeah, and when I got indicted for 4 murders and 1 attempted. So it's just like I believe wholeheartedly in it.
What about time period? Was it? Did you have to be at Hermano for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
It didn't matter. It didn't matter as long as you and that takes time. To for all these things to happen. It doesn't happen overnight. To hold down the tier. Because first you got to get to schooling. You gotta start schooling people on the 14 bonds, on the format. And you gotta know who's who, like the rosters. You gotta know. You gotta be writing people back and forth. And as everybody knows, the only communication we had was pretend some homeboy was a hyena. So say the homeboy was Chris or something like that with Christina. So when I got out, I got in trouble by my wife because she seen all these letters from Christina and Jessica and all kinds of people, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And she was all pissed off because she thought I was writing another hyena. I was like, "Nah, it's not like that." But
yeah, you breaking the internet, homie. You got 378 people watching you, man.
Damn.
Hey, G Fizzle, I know this ain't about me, man, but remind me to tell you about Boxer. I know Boxer. I hit him in the county jail, man. It wasn't personal if that's the homie, man. But remind me another time to tell you about that on a Q&A or something. Let me see. Okay, here we go. So at some point, you made a commitment to function on the streets. Why did you opt to function beyond the walls? You kind of already answered that because you in the car.
Yeah, it was just like actually I was sent out to do it, and because people knew my heart. That was when I was in Vacaville. They knew what I was about. They knew I was about that business, especially picking up a 360 days day before you're supposed to go home. My wife came to pick me up the next day. She was pissed off. She was hot. And I was sitting there behind the glass. I'm like, listen, you can be mad all you want. I said, but bottom line, ain't nothing gonna change. I'm still gonna be here. If you leave tomorrow, I'm still gonna be here. If you come back next week, if that's your choice, I'm still gonna be here. Regardless, I'm still gonna be here. So she came back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted a thug in her life.
Hey, before I ask you this next question, Gucci wants to know: Have you ever heard of Sundown?
No, I ain't never heard of him. It's just like I heard of Fig.
I heard of Fig before myself.
Yeah, Fig's been around for a while. You know, I heard of him, but I've never heard of Sunda. You know, you know, I don't know the homie. You know, I don't want to speak of him because I don't know him. You know, it's just
Right.
like, yeah,
There it is there.
yeah.
Hopefully that answers your question, Gucci. So the next question was, how was it functioning in the San Jose Regiment back in the 80s and 90s? What was it like to work with guys like Lucky, Silencios, Spanquillo, Skip, Dump Truck, Wevel, Flaco Vargas, Bad Boy, and some of the other C's that were out there?
Put it this way, um, a lot of people have been to Pelican Bay, right? And they have all the carnales there and all the bros. Just think of all them minds and them ruthless people out in the streets all at once. You
That's a
know,
good analogy. Yeah.
it's treacherous, and we had meetings after meetings. Sometimes we'd break off and have our own side of the meetings, away from everybody. You know, just um, so they won't know what's going on. You know, so it's just like I was in the mix of all that. Every meeting I was there. You know, so you learn a lot. You learn a lot, and it's treacherous. And the cops didn't even know who in the hell we were until
Yeah.
you know bodies started coming up short. You know, and it's just like before they knew who we were, 10 bodies were already dumped in San Jose.
I remember the papers, bro. San Jose Mercury was on the front lines, on the front page. Articles were coming out, the insurgents of a prison gang. Like, you guys came out of nowhere out there in San Jose, bro.
Oh yeah, they had snipers on our roof when we went to when we got indicted
In
in San
court,
Jose
yeah, I
County.
remember.
Yeah, they had snipers on the roof, bro, escorting us from escorting the carnales from the Bay to San Jose. And
Yeah.
it was overkill, but they put a 10 on it too. But it's just like that's the way it was when we got indicted.
Jerry, how do you feel about the current state of the NF with the renegades in the state hijacking the leadership and having multiple good solid guys hit for their personal agenda? Guys like Mateo.
And people are gonna meet their fate, bro. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
because I wouldn't even dare to think about crossing the old carnales. Wouldn't even dare think about it because what my heart was I was fighting for the old carnales because like I said, I know Pinky, I know Chente, I know all these people on a personal level. You know, so it's just like I wouldn't imagine crossing them up. You know, no way. Even though they might have put a hit on me or whatever, you know, I would never cross them up because them dudes are legit. Them dudes are about their business. Skip is
Yeah.
about his business now. You know, it's just like he gave up his life for what he believed in, and I respect that. I respect that because you know these dudes. I think he's been down. I think since 77, 70, 75, 77, somewhere on there. You
Yeah, it's
know,
been a minute.
Pinky's been down for a minute. You know, and it's just like uh, these dudes are treacherous dudes. Now, you know, whoever hijacked and made their own constitution. And believe me, I know Chuco. You know, I know Chuco on a personal level because I grew up with the dude. You know, I grew up with the, before he even went to the in prison. You know, just like so I know Chuco on the Chuco and Beto, his brother. So I know him on a personal level.
That's right. Here's one for you, bro. Any event or incident ever bother you to your core that made you question what you were doing?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. It was when we killed Sheila. You know,
Apodaca.
yeah, Sheila Apodaca. It was Silence Old Lady, Bobby Lopez.
Right.
And I was supposed to do the hit on her, and everything in my power was like, nah, this doesn't settle. Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And everything in my mind was I was getting fucked up in my head, and it was me and Spunkio. It was the day before she got killed. The night they thought I had her clothes right, so I was supposed to meet her at Maria's bar. So we went over there, and she was all drunk. And homeboy Spunkio said, "Give me the cuete." So he took off, and he was going to go handle it.
Yeah,
Right?
he's a
And
fool. He was a
yeah,
fool.
he was going to go handle it, and the couple came out, and they put her in the back seat, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing with her?" He's like, "Oh, she was drunk. I was just helping." Yeah, well, we got her. So it was a black couple. So she was staying with them. So we followed them. We followed them all the way to Mount Pleasant, and then he told me shoot her. Right? I told him I couldn't get a great shot. Right? Because I didn't want to kill her. I did not want to kill her. So the next day he came to pick me up, and then we went to Huevo's house. And it was me, Huevo, and Martin. I don't know if you know Martin Cerna.
I know Martin.
Martin Cerna is a straight. What do you call that? The Mexican cartel.
Yeah,
He's a fool, bro. He's a fool. But that's Martin Sponquillo's primo. So we were all kicking back, all four of us, and then he told me, she called me, Sheila did, and she goes, "Hey, you got my clothes?" And I said, "No." She called the homeboy's old lady. That's right. She called the homeboy's old lady, and she was on her line. And the homeboy's old lady calls me, and I go. She goes, "You got her clothes?" I said, "Yeah." Tell her meet me 10 minutes in Mount Pleasant. So she went over there, and that's when they killed her. Uh, you know, shot her in the head. But it was treacherous because she had threatened to snitch on Bobby that she was aware of 2 murders, right? That he did, and she was threatening to snitch on him. So if she didn't get her clothes back, so that right there raised all kinds of things. So it's just
yeah,
like those are treacherous days, bro. And then that shit bugs me to the day. And that was one of my murders that I was convicted of.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Most of you are familiar with that story, man. How those events transpired. But one of the all this was in the paper, man. But that was a mistake that Silencio had made. That he mentioned the murder before it happened,
yeah,
talking about watch the news tonight, uh, and was talking about Sheila like she was already gone.
yeah.
And when they
She was
listened to the
paranoid.
phone calls, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was telling the highness in the county jail.
Yeah, yeah,
News, watching news, and it's just like that just it bothered me, bro. It bothered me to the fullest. And the next day, Sponquillo went to go tell Lucky in the county jail, right? That she was through. So when he went to go tell Lucky in the county jail, E.J. Allen was there, his parole officer. So she's like, "What are you doing here?" He told Sponquillo, and then Sponquillo goes, uh, and he was already on the visiting list. So they gaffled him up. He calls me and tells me, "Go ahead and take care of Chocolate." And that Chocolate was my friend,
yeah,
So they already knew I didn't take care of Sheila. So they said, "Well, it's your turn to take care of your friend," So when you're in the NF and you're part of that situation, you question, are you going to do it? Are you going to do it?
right,
Because it's your time. It's your time. Your time's come up. Are you going to do
yeah,
it? And I did it. It's just like, even though he's my friend, everything like that. And to shoot a guy straight in his chest and watch his eyes, like why? That it's not
yeah,
cool.
yeah. That's why you never want to look in the eyes, man.
Yeah.
Hey, that's another tied into Chocolate as well. And I know you had a lot of respect for him, but Paul Alavencia recruited me, but Chocolate was the actual Puerto Rican puppet sponsored me, but
Yeah.
Chocolate was the one that actually recruited me, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another one. They had a lot of people had a lot of respect for, and a lot of people didn't question why he was hit the way he was hit. Uh,
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
good dude.
It sucks because once you're given that order, you got to take care of it, no matter what. It's just like if it's a girl, if she's your friend, your brother,
Right,
whatever. You got to take care of it, and that's why I tell a lot of youngsters, hey, if you're willing to commit to that, hey, be aware of that. You're going to be put to that test. One day you're going to be put to that test. And
yeah,
are you ready? Are you ready to sacrifice your life that way? Because I was. It's just like I spent 22 years in prison behind that. And I was. I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to say oh, the NF made me do it. I did it. I did that shit. Because I had my own belief system. I had
right.
I believed wholeheartedly in them. So it's just like, and it's messed up way of thinking. It comes to haunt you every single day of my life. It haunts me.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. um, yeah, I've talked about it before in the past too, man. As far as like for those guys that are still doing their thing, they're still active. That's what you choose to do, man. It's on you. But one of the things I've always encouraged, man, or advised some of these guys, man. That's why you don't. When we used to call it pillow talk, man. Laying around with your old lady, talking about organization business, talking about some of the things that we're involved in out there, because you're putting her or you're putting your loved ones at risk. That's what happens. You know what I mean? I've told these guys before in the past, whenever we've tried to rely on some of the people out there, the first ones we turn to are family and people that we trust, wives, girlfriends. But at the same time, you're putting them in harm's way, man. And Sheila's a good example of it. And you know, a lot of times, man, and it's not a slight against women, but whenever you're in a relationship and uh, feelings are involved and uh, you know, she gets vindictive, that's what happens. She'll you know, talk about exposing you, and that's what Sheila did. Anyway, let me get on to the next one, man.
Because there's all kinds of people. There's a lot of
Huh?
people. I said there's a lot of people that were were dropped. And it's just like um, that one really bugged me. It's just
Yeah,
like
Sheila.
yeah, because she was young. She was only what 21, 22.
Yeah, she was a
Yeah,
baby.
she had a kid. It's just like oh man, sucks.
Okay, here we go. Uh, uh, 1 second, only 1 second. All right. Well, you already kind of answered this. Well, maybe not. What did you think about the Chocolate hit? A lot of people were upset about his murder. What was your take on it? Yeah, you were familiar with the Pimentel and Eli Rosas homicides as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. Eli had just got a. He was out of Cuidamas for about a month, I think. Yeah, somewhere on there, a month. But Eli like had questions about me holding position, right? Because he was another one that said, he's in a wheelchair and this and that. Why is he holding a position? And homeboys were telling me, man, this dude is putting more work than you ever thought of putting in. But all he was looking at was a wheelchair, right? And we had a junta at my mom's house, and Eli and Timo, they were arguing over some Haina, and that they were both with, and I had to like, hey man, you guys just
I
chill.
remember her.
And then
Yeah,
Timo was getting pulled at that time, and I was
Hernandez.
working. Yeah, I was working with him at that time, and it's just like, so I invited him to the junta, everything like that. But Eli was like, "Why is he here? This and that," and Eli was a knucklehead. He was hard to deal with, and at that point, I don't know if you know him, Eddie Pajaro, Flaco,
Yeah,
Vargas.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Vargas.
yeah, he was overall. So there was there was a blanket over Louis Chavez, right? Until he brought a body. So it just so happened that Louis was over there, and Eli was over there, and Timo Roy was over there, right? So Louis calls me and tells me, "Hey, can you give me Flacco's number?" I'm like, "I'm not giving you no Flacco's number. No, I'm not giving. He don't want you to have it, man." And then he
Yeah,
goes, I can put you on a three-way." And so I put him on a three-way, and he goes, "Hey, man, put the phone down. This is NF business." So all right. So I put the phone down, right? And I didn't know what they said, but I kind of knew what was happening. And then he called me up like about 3 in the morning, and he goes, "Hey, give me Flacco's number." I said, "Man, I already told you I'm not going to give you Flacco's number." And then he goes, "Well, tell him that's taken care of." I'm like, all right. And I hung up, and then I didn't want to talk on the phone. I went to Flacco's house the next day, and I told him, and then he goes, all right, I'll check out the news, everything. I go, all right. So came back to the reason why Eli was there was a hit on him was that they had paperwork that he had snitched on Pantera on his first case. So
hmm,
it's just like I had never seen the paperwork, so that was between Flacco and Louis, But I was surprised that Louis brought a body when he was still working with the cops, and he never got no time. He didn't get
yeah.
he didn't do a single day in jail. So I was tripping. I was like, man, how did he bring a body and then he never did a day in jail? It's just like, but that was their main informant.
let me see. Um, Dizzle 916. Okay, so when did you
Yeah.
become a C?
Uh-huh.
When
Uh,
did you?
I became a C in the county jail when I got indicted. Because a lot of people already knew of me, and I would that wasn't even my interest right there. Because I already had the resume. I already brought bodies. So it wasn't even on my agenda. But Pinky had pulled me over, and he told me he was ready to make that move. And Pinky told me this. He goes, listen. He goes, you're the one that's your name drops all the time in the Bay. He goes, I never even knew who in the hell you were, but I just knew you were putting in work for us. So that's when he asked me if I was ready to make that commitment. I said, hell yeah, I'm already here. You know what? I'm ready to get a life sentence. Might as well. And you have to understand that there is uh, like 15 of us in that little room, and before we went to court, because every time we got escort, level 5, all the time, and it's just like there were nothing but carnales,
Yeah,
treacherous dudes. Bad Boy from Corcoran, Mad Dog, Cervantes from Stockton, Huevo, Skip, Chente, Pinky, and the list goes on and on and on. Lucky Bobby, Spunkio, me, just like the list goes on and on. And it's just like all of us have, just think about being in North Mex and South Mex, all that, what do I say, brass back there. You learn a lot, bro. You learn a
yeah.
lot about history. You were saying something about September 16th. Well, they used to celebrate that every single day because they used to say that was the NF's anniversary. And it's just like because I know when the structure was born January 22nd, but it's just like that was the NF was September 16th. So they used to send cards to each other, and you get put up on that knowledge. I remember somebody said something about the Norte, right, and on the tier, and Chino jumped. Chente jumped up. He goes, I'm a Sureño. He goes, I'm from Chino. He goes, I'm a Sureño. What the hell you mean? You even know what the hell that means? So he gave us a little schooling on that. Talk
Yeah,
about machina. Talk about machina, man. 2 hour machina. People
yeah.
would
That
be
old
passing.
man was a beast, man.
Yeah, people would be passing out, throwing up. I hear, and we couldn't drink no water. So it's just like
Hmm.
it was, and every time they did I couldn't do burpees, so it's just like anytime they did burpees, I just busted down and did push ups or whatever. It was cool. It was cool to be back there at that time because we had that little. Although we didn't have shit coming, we had each other.
Right.
But
Here's
that's when
another
they
one.
started handing out deals. Like they handed out Skip 14 years. They handed out Bad Boy 10 years. They just started giving the lesser people deals. So they just wanted to get rid of them to get a conviction. And uh, uh, that's when I got sent to the new county because I sued them. And right before I was working with Huevo at first and becoming a C. So Huevo was telling me, hey, do you get depressed? Do you get this? I'm like, man, I get more schooling in, I've done more schooling in the structure than you're, what are you, a stinking psychologist? Right? I was just like, I'm starting to worry about you because Huevo was lazy, bro. It's just like, I don't know if you know it, when you do Machina, early in the morning, that light hits the tier, right?
Yeah.
So you could see the shadow. Well, all I seen was Huevo sitting on his bunk, you know, and it's just like you could see it every day. And then he would get a little cup because everybody was here for the faucet because
Throw some sweat on the floor.
yeah, they start running yard at 7 o'clock. So when they start running yard, you gotta be sweating because they're gonna know you're busting
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So Huevo would just pour the water over his head. It's like this dude ain't no joke. He's this dude's a
Yeah.
joke, right? So anyway, when I went back to the holding cell, I told Pinky, I said, "Hey, Pinky, this dude does not know how to pull nothing, right?" So Pinky told me Mad Dog was going to be working with me, so I started working with Mad Dog.
That's
Mad
another
Dog was a cool
solid,
dude. Yeah, he was a cool
solid
dude.
dude.
He used to call me
Yeah.
his co-pilot because he knew I went through the struggle. As far as being in a wheelchair, I gave my heart. So Mad Dog took a liking to me.
It's speaking of that in the game. Did your condition work to your favor versus not in a chair? How so?
Um, I think not within the organization, because in the organization it's just like uh, I don't think they looked at me like I was in a wheelchair anymore, because it's
Right.
just like I could do a lot of things that was beneficial, like slip my chains, take pedazos out, do whatever I had to do, to for them to utilize me. I'm not saying use me, but to utilize me, in a certain way. So I think they had that respect for me to do that, because there was a lot of people in wheelchairs, a lot of homies, but they never gave that commitment like I did.
Right. So you allegedly played a role in the hit that took place on Weasel Mejia.
No, yeah.
I did a spill on it, bro. If you're willing to speak on it, what why was he hit and how did it happen? I know why he was hit, but
Yeah, well, he had a green light on, right?
right,
And we were at the 4th of July. My mom was holding a big barbecue for us, and it was me, sleepers, Victor Esquivel, Lencho, uh, and Louis Chavez, and all of
right,
us. We were all gathered together, right? But see, Lencho wasn't about nothing, right? He was in the structure. I don't think Lencho had ever did time, right? Lencho was me and Lencho used to just slam dope together. We slam coke together, but Lencho was from the West Side, and I used to tell him West Side's weak, all that, But it's just like
horseshoe,
yeah, horseshoe. So uh, Lencho, what the reason he got in with us is because him and Louis were from the West Side, right? So Louis had invited Chaco, all them dudes, right, from the West Side. So Lencho had came with them. So Louis told me to start uh, working with Lencho, right? Trying to, you know, uh, uh, give him schooling. But Lencho's
yeah,
dumb. Lencho ain't got that much schooling, right? So when I seen Carlos come up, I was just like, I was surprised. I was surprised that Weasel had come up. I was just like, damn, this dude has a green light on him. So, me being, my manipulation skills kicked in. Yeah, homie, come in, have a beer, have a pistol, bro. There's steak, whatever, bro. I told my mom, look him up. There's a homeboy right here. So, I made him feel welcome. And then in the cuts, I was telling sleepers and Lencho, hey, this dude got a green light. So that's when I told Louis Chavez. So Louis comes back and he goes, hey, well, what are we going to do? I said, oh, you're the carnal. You tell us. You tell me. So it was determined that dude was going to take a ride, right? So I
right,
told Carlos, like, hey, can you give the homeboys a ride to the store, go some more pistol? And he said, yeah. He goes, I'll do that. So they sleepers was already had a pedazo on them. So I told Lencho, go with them, bro. So they both went. And then when they came back, sleepers already told me what happened. I told them, go get rid of that thing. I told my mom, hey, let's wrap this shit up. Right? She's like, why? What happened? I said, hey, don't ask any questions. Just wrap it up. And my mom already knew not to ask questions. So we wrapped it up and took off, right? Well, Lencho gets busted. Well, Sleepers was kicking me. He put a big old NF on the side of his neck, right? And I asked him if he was in with any hyenas or whatever. So he hadn't
yeah. You told me this one already.
he hadn't been with a hyena, so I got some hyena. I gave him a leño, and he got him some trim, right? So anyway, so he gets busted the next day. So then Lencho gets busted because Carlos told on him, right? So Lencho gets busted. Lencho's in the county jail saying he's a carnal, right? And
Yeah,
I'm like, so word gets back to me that I pulled him to be a carnal. I said, how? I'm a bro. How am I going to pull it? Okay, I just graduate. Okay, Lencho, you're above me now. What the hell?
yeah,
So he didn't really think. He thought he was a carnal. That's how dumb he is. So it's just like, so I don't know who schooled him when he went to the county jail. That was beyond my control. I washed my hands with him. Once he went to the county jail, and I never even focused on that dude, man. That dude, he wasn't worth my time to focus, really.
yeah.
But it's just like that's Lencho's whole story, how he picked up his first beef, because Lencho wasn't about nothing. I'm saying, I'm serious. He wasn't about nothing.
I'm knowing.
Yeah,
They, he's a slippery one, man. He managed to slip through the cracks for years, bro. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Everybody knows that.
yeah. Because he don't have schooling. In fact, he dressed like a slob out there, bro. He's just like. Uh, He didn't. He wasn't the sharpest dresser out there, you know. And he didn't have no schooling. He didn't have no schooling.
Bro, you know how you got pulled in the county jail?
Yeah.
Was there some of the other fellas? Did they get recruited in there as well, or you were?
Slowly. In fact, I think Skip was already recruited because Skip had Skip had got busted, and then when he came back, I think yeah he was a Carnal. So at that time, all the Carnales were in one point, and all the brothers were in the other point. So it's me and Spunkio who were due up, to get pulled. So they were working with the both of us. Spunkio was a fool. He was my boy.
Yeah, I know. I got something coming up on him too, man. I know you guys were close. I might as well just ask you now, man. I know you and Spunky were close, bro. There was he got convicted. He got the death penalty for what he did. A few years back, I'm sure, as you know, he was found deceased in his cell, bro.
Yeah,
And he died from a heroin overdose. And from at least my knowledge, Spunkio wasn't a dope fiend. He never got high out there on the streets. So
no,
people speculated that he took that shot and got up out of here, man. Do you believe that?
I can't believe that, bro. I can't believe I can't. For one, I can't believe that he was doing drugs, and for two, I can't believe that he would took himself out because Spunkio was a strong-minded individual. You know, he didn't care. He didn't care about anything, nobody. And I can't see both. I don't know what's in his head because my thing is I already seen the writing on the wall when they went to death row. Because they weren't going to have nothing coming. Because that whole case was shot out. There was a bunch of Carnatas that were supposed to handle their business that didn't. Mad Dog had to come in and intervene, kidnap Huevo, throw him in the back
Put
of
him
the
in the trunk.
Yeah, we went to Stockton with GQ and Mad Dog,
Yeah.
and trying to figure out all this madness that was happening. Mad Dog had to put it down, and tell him, hey, Dallas, get on point. What the hell's the matter with you? I was still in the structure, so I didn't have that schooling. I didn't have that, that status.
Right.
So, but I did have that status to go to different regiments to start them. So that's when I went to Frisco. That's when I went to Stockton. That's when I went to Salinas, working with Baki, working with Roach, working with Mad Dog. So I had all these regiments that I was working with. So it was, and Fresno too. I had Conejo and Blackbird from Fresno. So all these regiments I was in communication with. So we had a good communication. And in fact, Baki from Salinas, that's when he was starting out, but the dude was kicking us down anything we needed.
Yeah, Paki is a good dude, man.
He's a good
I
dude,
got
man. He's a good dude.
real close to Paki, man. This you kind of already answered. How long have you known Lancho? When did he get recruited into the Familia, and who brought him in? Um, and again, this one right here, Lancho's managed to slip through the cracks and has operated like a tyrant for years. How and why do you think he was able to get away with it?
I think just by the people he knew, because it's just like I said, anybody could slip through the cracks, as long as you, uh, I don't know, he's slimy, he's slimy because uh, uh, I can see him, you know, acting like he's
Yes,
put in a
man.
position,
Yeah.
acting like he's a carnal, and he's not, and people believe him because he talks a good game, and then
Mm-hmm.
uh, before you know it, they're caught up. So Lencho just that's how he slipped through the cracks. Gift gab, and people don't. A lot of people don't do their homework,
Right.
because I'm not going to just sit there and take your word to tell me you're a canal. I'm going to do my homework and check my channel.
Yeah.
So it's just like that's the whole purpose of schooling. because you don't want to get caught up. And like I said, I was caught up once with Stork from Salinas. He came to Salon and he wanted the bank, and I had the bank at that time. And he goes, he tried to say that he was a C, and he had permission to take my bank, right? Take the bank, and I'm like, oh hell no, that's not happening. I go, once my channel tells me to give you the bank, then I will give you the bank. But just because you're a canal, nah, that's not happening, bro. I go, no. You got the wrong dude, because if I would have given the bank, I would have been dealt with. I would have had the green light on me.
Yeah. And for you guys that are asking, I think Jerry started going to prison just a couple years before me. We functioned around the same era, but we never worked together on the streets. He was in San Jose. I was in Frisco with Roach, the Roach brothers.
Willie,
Dreamer Hernandez, and all them cats, man.
Yeah, Dreamer was supposed to come and do that hit with Robert Jossel, Beto. Yeah, he was supposed to come down and do that hit with Bad Boy, and Bad Boy was getting anxious, and then Bad Boy said, me and you just go do it. And they had called me back from Utah, bro. This was after Sheila. This was after Chocolate, everything like that. I went on the run, and I was kicking back in Utah, fine, just kicking back, minding my own business, and I get that call. Yeah, you got to come back and put some more work in. Like, damn, man, serious? So here I go back to Salon and meet up with Bad Boy, and then because Bad Boy was from Corcoran, he didn't know his way around Salon. So
yeah,
I showed him who we call him Fat Cow, but I showed him who he was, and then he goes, all right, wait till Dreamer comes later on tonight. Well, Dreamer was lollygagging, and Bad Boy was getting anxious, so he said, come on, me and you go handle it. So we pulled up in front, and then that's when I saw Bad Boy put 3 bullets in his head, and the dude lived, man. The dude lived. It's just like I couldn't believe it, because I saw it point blank. I saw him put 3 bullets in his head.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when that happened. But then Dreamer ended up getting caught up with with that hit on Federico Arevalo.
Yeah, other homie. Barry Sounds Day.
Yeah, Barry Sounds Day.
Yeah, the double murder.
Yeah. Hey, you ain't never done time with Mondo. Have you ever done time with Mondo Quinn?
Who?
Mondo Quinn from I believe he's from Tulare County, bro. Big Mondo. Yeah, I think he's a little bit after. He came after. He's from a different. He's a lot younger.
Yeah.
I barely caught a little bit of time with Mondo. He was a younger C. Let me see.
I said Mondo.
Whenever you want to pump the brakes on me, let me know, because I know that we're not going to be able to get all this in one shot, bro. You guys are loving you.
Get another half hour in.
Yeah, you got 500 people up in here, man.
Yeah, damn.
Let me see.
Is a conversation that interesting?
Yeah, man. Well, it's not very often that they get to hear from somebody that's functioned on the level. Yeah, he's from Delano. That you did, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I'm old news already, man.
Yeah, it was a crazy era. Like we were about that business. We were feared on the streets. It's just like I seen a lot of homeboys that I thought had that heart, and when they were called, took off. Quick.
Yeah.
They lost their number, or it was, we had beepers back then. So it's just like we didn't have cell phones. So people would get out of Dodge quick, and it's I still respect them. They didn't want to they didn't want to be part of that madness, because that was straight madness. It was just like either you were a killer or you weren't, plain and simpler. It's just like the killers on one side, homeboys on the other side that, want to function behind the walls,
right.
Just like, and I give them that respect, just like they're still homeboys. Just they weren't on our level. They weren't on that level of being a straight killer.
What was homeboys? Hey, you were there. Well, you definitely had to be there with little Leo Cano.
Yeah.
When he hit Reaper from Fresno.
Yeah, I was on the phone with him.
You were on the phone with him?
Yeah, I was on the phone with him. I was on the phone with him. Baby Jets. him and Baby Jess. Huh?
Baby Jess, man.
Yeah,
That's the name I ain't heard in a long time, man. Look,
yeah,
Baby Jess. Whatever
yeah.
happened to him, man?
Uh, he's busted again, but he got all his tattoos taken off. he's
No
a
shit.
knucklehead. Yeah, he's a knucklehead. Yeah, we were kicking it for a minute in Song because I paroled to Song. I paroled to Song for 7 years, so it's just like I was kicking it on on the east side for a minute.
Here's a good one. How did you feel when Big Chente Arroyo, Lucky Shelton, and some other members of leadership folded and defected?
Man, at that point, everybody was going. It's just like we had 1,000 witnesses in our case. And it was the biggest case in Santa Clara County history.
Right.
They didn't know what to do with this. There was more witnesses than anything. People were signing up, because we were feared. We were feared people. They wanted to put us away for a long time. They didn't want us back on the streets. And but when Lucky had turned, and it's just like that deflated me because it's just like he was the cause for everything. It's just like because mainly a lot of it was jealousy, a lot of it was a lot of these homeboys they didn't deserve to die, and it was just jealousy over some Haina.
What was it, Nadine?
Sonia.
Sonia. So that's
Yeah.
the one that was in love with was it Larry Vias?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Larry, we grew up together, and Smiley, and it's just like Smiley was a good dude, man, but he didn't want to be he didn't want to be considered as a punk, and Lucky tried to strong arm bully him, said you're gonna pay rent, and he goes, I ain't paying shit, so he was took out, so it's a sad situation, but that's another one, jealousy. It wasn't supposed to be. That's not what I signed up for. Although I was already in it, I didn't sign up for that shit. And that's why I already knew that whoever was involved in our case wasn't getting shit. We didn't have shit coming. Because we were killing our own. How do you kill your own, bro? Just like homeboys that you grew up with. Now you're killing them. We're not looking towards the enemy no more. We're not looking towards people that are becoming a stumbling block. We're looking over some dude that was with my Haina. Come on, man, that's personal reasons. But
Yeah.
who am I to say anything because I don't have that status yet. But when that status came down, shit hit the fan.
Yeah, man. It's a proven fact that a lot of these organizations, whether it's the NF, the Mexican Mafia, the Aryan Brotherhood, we kill more of our own people than we do the ops.
Yeah.
Any opposition, man, and that's just crazy, bro. But it's a proven fact. My team over yours wants to know about any altercations with upstaters in San Jose, if you had any. With all due respect, there's a lot of. I don't know if at that time you guys all got cracked around 92, between 92 and 94.
Yeah, all these other killing happened in 91.
Right.
We got cracked in 92. I got cracked in 92. That's when the indictment came down. So I was on the streets and I was on the streets still handling biz, doing whatever I had to do. But we didn't have no communication with the Carnelas because they had started blocking off all our communication. And so people were asking, was I going to the grand jury? Because they said supposedly somebody said my name was on the list to go to that grand jury, right? I already knew in my whole heart that I ain't going to no damn grand jury. That's a death, right? I'm not doing that. I'm cool. I got schooling to know that's a no. I'm not sticking foot no stinking friend of no jury, right?
Yeah.
So the only jury is going to be when they indict me. So they had got me. They had pulled me over. No, they got me at Players nightclub. Me and Baby Jess, and we had our hyenas with us. And I seen the two undercovers come in. I was still on the run. So I went straight to the bathroom and hooped some drugs, right? And then I came out and they were on me. So when I came out, they arrested me. Well, they didn't arrest me. They took me downtown. They had me in a holding cell forever. I was like, "Damn, man, are you guys gonna arrest me or what?" And they're like, "No, but here's a card called the homicide investigator in the morning." So all right, took the card, ripped it up, told my hyena to come pick me up. She's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, they let me go." Right. So
Yeah.
my hyena came to pick me up. I ripped the card. Said, "I'm through with you guys." So they knock on my door, bro. They knock on my. I was my father-in-law's house. I was over. They knock on his door. I guess they followed me from the county jail over to his house. I wasn't tripping. So they knocked on his door. They said, "Jerry Salazar here." Now I told them, "Hey, tell him I'm not." And they, "Yeah, he is in here. Tell him he got 10 minutes to get ready because we're taking him downtown." I'm like, damn, man. So I get ready and then I tell him, I'll get a ride. My hyena will take me. So she took me. I'm telling her goodbye, babe. I love you. Whatever. Blah blah blah. Spill that little line, and then I sit in the holding cell, and they're giving me all kinds of. Did you kill this? Where were you this? Where were you this? Chocolate. How come you didn't go to the funeral if you guys were close? You know they were on me, right? Yeah. I was just like, whatever. No, 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 no. And then they started coming with the pictures, right? And they gave me a picture of Skip. They gave me a picture of Lucky. They gave me a picture of all these dudes, right? And they're saying, "Is this dude NF?" I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't even know what NF means. This, that, right?" And then they're hammering me with it, right? And then I think it was Pinky's. Somebody had NF on them, Pinky or Lucky or
It's
Silent.
pink.
One, Silent,
Pink.
because Silent had Emiliano on his chest. Well, anyway, it was one of them. It was Pinky that they gave me a picture and they said, "Is he NF?" And I mean, I stated obvious. He had it on him, right? And I said, "Yeah." And then it's just like it slipped out before my mind could think, right? And I was just like, "Damn!" I was like, "Did I just say that?" So they let me go, and then once I jammed, I split out of town, and that's when they called me back for uh, um, uh, Beto, Robert Jossel, right? Because I had split, and then I got called back, and then they let Silent out, and this dude's one of murders, right? They let him out of quitting accidentally,
I
right?
remember that.
And yeah, and he calls me up and he goes, "Jay, come pick me up." They let me out. I'm like, "What the hell?" And automatic in my mind's like, "This dude's snitching, right?
Yeah.
How the hell are they gonna let him out?" But me, I go pick him up anyway. I'm like, okay, if he's snitching, I'm not gonna say nothing. And let him, do a little thing to prove himself. Well, he did whatever. Now he proved himself. So I was like, okay. So we went to Salinas, we to Pocky, and then we went to Fresno, and then that's when we got busted on that high-speed car chase. Me and him, ran into that Bronco.
Yep. I remember that too. So speaking of Fresno, Jay Jay Salazar, that must be your namesake. Wants to
Yeah.
know about big crackers from Fresno. We'd like to hear your perspective on. You know anything about crackers?
Oh yeah, Crackers is a fool. Don't put one dude. Don't put one soldier on him. He's gonna take that knife and stab you. Crackers is a big boy. I know Crackers. I've heard of his name for a while, but I knew him on SNY side on D yard and that level 4 yard in Corcoran and Sadef when I was over there. So it's just like it was me, and in fact he put some work in over there. Maybe he socked up a couple of dudes, but he's a big dude, man. He's no joke. He's a soldier.
Yeah, he's a tank, man.
I was over there when Babo killed himself. Sosa.
Yeah, Babo Sosa.
Yeah.
You knew Mike Yu from Salazar?
Yeah. 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 In fact, you have a picture of him and Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lucky, and then Chico Robert Rose is in that picture, and Mateo's in that picture.
Yeah. Mateo's in that picture too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a legendary picture right there.
Yeah, it is. There's a couple of bitches that were legendary, but the prosecution had them. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. So I believe the last one I asked you was about when Lucky and uh, Big Chente when they defected. So
Damn, you got 510 followers. What the hell?
yeah, man, I'm telling you, bro. Okay, so this was what are your thoughts on the NF trying to dictate C's legal defenses when there's an indictment?
That's the same thing that happened with us, right? When we got all our discovery, everything, we had boxes and boxes of paperwork, but they wanted all the Constitution, right? We were told to give up them pages to the carnales, the Constitution, right? But my thinking was, okay, it's public knowledge for these other vatos to see it. A dropout could see it, but I can't see it.
Yeah,
That don't make no sense, you know. But
right.
I couldn't question that authority, you know. But it was just like, okay, we're gonna run it this way, we're gonna run it this way. You take that deal, you take that deal, you take that deal, blah blah blah. They're not giving you a deal, so don't take it. You know, you're gonna fight it all the way. It's just like they were directing traffic to, okay, who was doing this or that, and a lot of people got put like that's why a lot of people turned because they were telling people, okay, you're gonna write it out. And they're like, fuck you. I'm not going to write it out. You're crazy as hell. You know, it's just like, but, you know, that's what they wanted us to get that life sentence. And, you
Yeah,
know, unfortunately, I did because I was one of the main hitters.
yeah. We probably won't get to that today, but that's in some of the later. There was speculation, and I think you just answered it right now when you made mention of the tattoo. There was speculation that you made statements to SJPD about Skip and Lucky being NF members. Is it true? What were the circumstances? Were you cooperating or just stating the obvious, like you just said, stating the
Yeah,
obvious?
saying the obvious because I was questioned by Pinky in the holding cell. It was I was questioned by Pinky and he asked me straight up, hey, what happened right here? So I explained to him what happened. You know, I go, my thought process was I slipped up. You know, plain and simple. You know, but that was in the back of my mind all the time because I know the way manipulation is. I've been through it, done it several times. I already know. But what was tripping me out was he was pulling me. So it was just like a catch-22. I was like, is he pulling me because he don't want me to turn? Is he pulling me? You know, all kinds of thoughts were running through my head, but I was just like, okay, just watch, because I can slip out of these chains quick. You know,
Yeah,
so I was just like, just kick back and watch everybody.
that's crazy, bro. You see how that works, man. A situation like that, man. Had you not been there in front of Pinky for him to confront you like that, it probably would have turned out different. But that's the kind of due process or the benefit of the doubt that a lot of people don't get. He was there to confront you. He was right
Yeah,
there. And what happened here, man? You know what I mean? What happened? Explain this right here. Those circumstances right there dictated the outcome. But a lot of homeboys don't get that same benefit of the doubt. But that's a trip coming from Pinky, man. That I can see.
yeah, he's a straight up dude, man.
Yeah,
Pinky, straight up dude. I got a lot of respect for him. You know, it's just like I said, but all them dudes back there, it's just I got a lot of respect. You know, as far as Chuco and all them, I don't have that respect. You know, I don't.
Chuco.
Yeah,
Yeah, he,
yeah,
he made his own bed, and he's one of the ones with Conejo. I'm sure you have followed
yeah,
somewhat, at least what's been in the media about um, what those dudes did and making allegations against Skip and Corny, calling those dudes tyrants and renegades and trying to beat their chest. That's not gonna go for. It's not gonna go. They're not gonna forget about that, man. It's not gonna be forgiven. You know what I
no,
mean? Those seeds been around for a long time, man. And Chuco, his whole claim to fame was the Brown Bob homicide, and he didn't even participate in it. He sat there and watched it. He held his mud. He took the time on the chin, bro. But um, yeah, he's gonna have to answer to everything that happened out there, man.
exactly.
Well, here's just a follow up on the last one. So when Big Chente got at you about it in the county jail, is this 100% why you ended up cooperating, or was it the final straw? If any, if any of this is true, were you offended, hurt, or mad that they assumed you would cooperate, or did you just see the end coming?
But I think with any questioning about your snitching or whatever, of course it's going to hurt you.
Yeah,
Especially all the work I put in, all the years I put in, all the sacrifices I made day before I was supposed to go home. Catching a life sentence. I already knew I had a life sentence. Catching a life sentence for the cause, everything like that, and for them to come back and question me, I'm like, that doesn't taste well. It doesn't fit well in my understanding what I was schooled for. But it goes with the territory. It's just like they're gonna question you. They're gonna want to know where your head's at. And my head wasn't about that at that point. I think when Lucky turned, and then uh, I couldn't get Sheila out of my mind. I couldn't get Chocolate out of my mind. I could not get them out of my mind. Sure, I did it. Sure, I stepped up and raised my hand for it. But at the same point, why? Why? And like I said, I'm not joking when it still sits with me today. Killing a 21-year-old girl. That's not cool. That's not cool. It's not cool, and that's not what I signed up for. So them things in the back of your head stick with you. Would there be more Sheilas down the road? Would there be more Chocolates down the road? That's something you got to question. That's something you got to say. Okay, if you're willing to kill her right now, is there more to come? Is there more hyenas that I gotta take out? I'm not with all that.
and
I'm
there was.
I was raised to protect that girl. I was raised to protect because I see my mom get her ass beat. So I was raised to protect one that can't defend herself.
Yeah,
So it's just like that's the way I was raised. So although she said what she said, it's just like I think all that caught up with me, and once Lucky turned and Chinta turned and all that, I already knew it was time for me to go. And I could sit here and say, oh, I just said everything they said. Come on, man, snitching, snitching. Come on. It's just like I took that. Whatever they said, I said same thing, but it's still get turning against your friends, turning against the people, the cause, turning against everything, every single thing that you believe in, turning against that, and their beliefs are so ingrained in you that I still they're still ingrained in me today. A lot of that stuff.
yeah,
Don't back down. This and that. Come on, man. It's still with me today. You know,
yeah. I know, man.
and
Trust me.
a lot of people look at that, right? That okay, me turning. A lot of people look at that little point right there, but they don't look at the life sentence that I picked up. The 22 years, 23 years I just did, you know, for the cause. They don't look at that. They
Yeah,
just look at, okay, you got to understand. Well, come on, man. You don't look at the stuff I just did for you guys. My final straw was take that life sentence. There was no sticking deal because once I got a life sentence, everything was once you had life in prison, you had life in prison. Plain and simple. You were going to do life. It doesn't matter if you had 15 to life, 7 to life, 25 to life, 50 to life. You were going to do life, right?
right.
Regardless. So that was my whole frame of thinking. I'm doing life. I made my bed. Just like I got to live in it. So that was my whole thing.
Yeah, I got some good questions about all that, but they're towards the end, man. But we'll get to them on another one. But when you made the decision to defect, what were some of your motivators or some of the factors that pushed you over the hump?
And like I said, it was Sheila and everybody else that was just uh, gone, leaving. Because I
Yeah,
wasn't taking no hell of a deal. You know, they weren't coming at me with, "Oh, you don't got a life sentence, you 25 years," and they were coming at me with life. So it's just like I was one of the main hitters, and I already knew that. I already knew my writing was on the wall, but I didn't sign up for killing a bunch of hyenas. I didn't sign
people.
up for
Go ahead, go ahead.
no, I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up for none of that.
People don't know that about you. That I don't know if a lot of these guys know that a lot of those killings out there, though, even though you were in the wheelchair, man, you were one of the main hitters out there, like you said. That we're deep in we're in the trenches, bro. Just put it
Yeah,
like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, because I was out that whole time. That whole time I was one of the first ones out and one of the last ones to get busted. So I was out that whole. In fact, I was the last one to get busted. So it's just like, and that ended up with a high speed car chase. Another car wreck. So
Yeah.
uh, uh, I think all that, looking back to it now, man, it was God gave me so many chances. Just like man.
Yeah, I know all about that, man. Trust me, man. No.
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever have any regrets about turning and removing yourself from that lifestyle?
At first I did. At first I did because uh, I was sitting there like, how could I even do that, right? But I think as time went on, I accepted that fact that I made my choice, and now I look back at it, I would never go through that again, because that was a crazy ass time in my life, and like I said, a lot of it had to do with my belief system at that point where I didn't care about anybody or anyone, and I like that fear. I like to be feared. When you go in a party, everybody jams because they're thinking they're next on the hit. When you
Hmm.
go, when you're anywhere, everybody fearful, and I like that because you had that sense of power. You
Right.
had that sense of, I'm in a wheelchair, but I still got that sense of power. I'm in the wheelchair, but I'll still put it down. And people know it. So it's just like, and it felt good at that point in my life. So people don't realize until they're there. A lot of people can judge me, but until you're there and put in that situation, don't judge me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're not, if you haven't put in the work, then you're not. Don't come and sleep in my bed. If you haven't done 22 years for the cause, don't come and sit in my backyard and tell me what the hell. We can get in the chair and we'll go wheel to wheel instead of toe to toe.
Straight up, huh?
Yeah.
And so, let me see. Hold up. Let me see. So, how did you come to terms with the fact that you had to burn up and turn against some of your so-called brothers in crime? So I'm coming to what you're talking about right now because it's some good stuff, man.
How's what?
So how did you come to terms with the fact that you had to burn up and turn against some of your so-called brothers in crime?
Um, I don't know. I think I didn't come to terms with it till after I was in the SNY yard, because it's just like uh, had long talks with Pink. I mean, with Chete, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we were in the PHU together. But Chete and Lucky, they didn't like each other. Well, Chete didn't like Lucky, and when Chete had got to the PHU, Lucky had went to the hole. So it's just like, I'm not gonna say he locked it up, but basically he did. But uh, I had long conversations with Chente, and I was asking him how did he come to terms with it because I couldn't deal with it. So Chente's a good dude. It's just like,
Yeah.
he just told me a little bit about it. I mean, it helped to have uh, him there, to talk to you. And then when I went to the SNY, well, it wasn't even SNY, and that's something that we could touch on too, as far as these SNY yards, because in SNY yards didn't come into effect until 2002, and I was in the protective housing unit in Corcoran, in 484 Right, so when I wanted to get the hell out of there, so I signed up to go to the 50/50 yard, and there's you don't know who's on the 50/50 yard. There's 50 active and 50 like soft, so
Mm-hmm.
I signed up to go there.
Um, Donaldo Trump is wants to know how, how you feel about Silencio being out there on the main line right now, potentially being a part of leadership.
Well, I'm kind of happy for him because dude's been back there a while. He's been back there 30 some years, so it's just like uh, I'm finally glad that he got something coming, because uh, uh, he put in work and he's never strayed from the organization. He never told on anybody. He just like I'm happy for him. Finally got something, because it's just like it's hard uh, putting in your life, getting on, put up on death row, and then not having nothing coming.
Yeah. How did you reacclimate yourself when it comes to your own belief system? How were you able to justify some of the choices you had to make? And is it something that continues to bother you today?
You can't justify it. No way in hell you
Right.
can justify it. I don't care. I don't care how much you try to scrutinize it, try to look at it inside it, dissect it, whatever. You can't justify that. No
That's
way.
what I tell these guys all the time, man. You
Yeah,
know,
you can't justify that. There's no
it,
way you could justify it. You'd be lying to
it,
yourself.
yeah, no matter what, at the end of the day, you can't pretty it up. I've never advocated for it. I know it's some kind of hypocrisy, man, but even though I had to make some of the choices that I had to make, um, I don't promote it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had to go through what I had to go through. But I've never come on here and make it seem like it was okay or that it was justified, because it's not, man. Everybody knows that. I've been transparent about that since I came on YouTube, bro. So I'm glad you said that though, man.
Yeah, yeah. You can't justify it. I don't care. I don't care how much you try to put lipstick on a pig. It's still gonna be a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any well, you already answered that. Do you have any regrets about debriefing or defecting? Do you ever wish you could go back to being a part of that lifestyle?
No, hell no.
What has life been like for you since you have removed yourself from that lifestyle and the so-called criminal element?
um, it's been up and down. You know, I've been able to dab a little bit, drugs and stuff like that. But it's just like uh, uh, I think that lifestyle still haunts me today because although I've been out since 2013, you know, uh, I still have a tendency to, get in trouble. I still have a tendency to, push the limits. Now I'm 8 months clean, so it's just like uh, I take my recovery serious today, not knowing what tomorrow may bring, but I'm 8 months clean,
That's right.
and
Congratulations, homie.
thank you, I appreciate that. But it's just like I focus on my sobriety each day, live day by day, don't one day at a time. That's it, and that's what I do. Live one day at a time. Um, uh, am I a success story? Hell no, because ain't nobody. I'm a convicted murderer. It's not a success story.
Yeah.
To where I've been. Am I changed? I hope so. I still have them same beliefs. I'm not a punk. I'm not going to back down from anybody. It's just like, and their beliefs will haunt you. Them beliefs will get you back in prison. And you gotta tackle their beliefs every day. Today, I choose to try to think differently, try to act differently, because we're sorry to we got to set example for these youths. We got to set a different example than the ones we have, because we've been there, done that. They look up to a murderer. They look up to a killer. They look up to Skip. They look up to everybody. But it's just like everybody that does crime. But do they look up to a dude that turned his life around? So we have to be productive members to these kids growing up, because it's
Right.
just like we got to teach them a different outlook. Well, I'm not telling the kid what to do. That's his choice. His choice is, if he's going to join the gang, hey, more power to you. But here's are the consequences. So that's where I'm trying to not come a stumbling block to the organization, but at the same time try to help out kids. Because ain't nobody like the kids in Uvalde, for instance. That the money, the proceeds for this thing, for the me chatting. Them kids didn't deserve to die. A kid doesn't
Yeah.
deserve to grow up without his parent. A kid doesn't deserve to have his dad as a thug. And he's just following his footsteps. I seen dads in there with sons, and they're both lifers. It sucks. The mom comes and visits the dad and the son, and they're both lifers. That really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. It does, bro. Um, that's goes into the next question. What was it like being on an SNY? How did you adjust to that environment and go from being around guys who considered themselves stand-up guys who believed in things like honor, integrity, and respect, to being around guys who had no sense of respect, honor, or integrity?
Well, there's a like I said, SNY didn't come into effect till 2002. You know, the things that CDC is coming out with today, as far as removing all the SNY, and it's just becoming mainline. That's the way it was before. You know, that's the way when I went to the 50/50 yard in Mule Creek, that's the way it was. You know, I didn't know who was out there. So when they made SNY in 2002, you know, there was a different set of animals. You know, they didn't have gangs in Mule Creek. They didn't have these Northern Riders. They didn't have all these gangs. I heard of the two fivers over there, but when they kicked me out of Mule Creek and they sent me to Pleasant Valley, uh, uh, I started hearing about new flowers and stuff like this. I'm like, what the hell is this, right? And
Yeah,
then when I got sent to SAT-F, level 4, that's when I really got to affect the Northern Riders and this and that. And they don't like dudes like us, because a lot of us put them dudes in a hat, you know. So it's just like they don't like dudes that are canales or anything like that. They don't like us. So you got to fight against that grain. So it's just like, oh shit, here we go again. You know, got to fight this dude. Got to fight this dude. Got to watch out for this dude. But fortunately, they don't have a structure. You know, they don't have something that, you know, like a machina. They don't have that structure.
yeah,
You
they're
know, so
loose cannons, man.
yeah, they're loose cannons. They
Yeah,
just want to strength in numbers. I said, you know, so it'd be real interesting to see how this all turns out. You know, and it's a trip because going to SNY yard, you have these chomos that I can't stand. You know, and uh, you got to live with them day by day, and it's no fun. It's not fun, you know, because my whole belief system, you get tested. You get tested, and I didn't expect to go home. You know, I still did good in there because, you know, it was boring. It was boring.
yeah,
So I took all these classes. You know, I got a vocation. You know, I did everything I had to do, but because it was boring, I didn't want to go in my cell. You know, and go do time in my cell, whatever. If I had the freedom, I went and took them classes. You know, and it came back to work for me. You know,
that's
so
right.
I was surprised.
Speaking of, let's just say some of the undesirables out there on those SNY yards. Uh, how did you deal with it? Did you just because I know some guys, man, their policy was like, just don't ask, man. Don't ask people what they were convicted of, unless they were part of your little small circle, and those
Yeah.
dudes that you fuck with out there, because you what does a chomo look like? They're not just
No, they're homeboys.
a certain race or look like a certain individual. Some of them they look like everybody else, man. So
It's funny that you say that because there's a lot of there's a lot of homies that were chomos, and you know, I didn't even know, and the cops would tell us,
yeah,
and it was surprised the hell out of me because they'd be all tattooed down, whatever, and they'd have smut on them, and I'm just like, damn, you know. But they would get handled their business. I mean, they get the blues uh, taken to them, especially if you were in the gym. Oh yeah, they'd walk up, they'd put their shoe on and it'd be full of piss and shit. You know,
blanket
so,
party. Yeah.
yeah.
What do you say to people who say you can't be trusted? You can't be trusted since you folded once in the past, and since you already proven to have done it once, you'll do it again.
Who do I want to be trusted by? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not in that organization. I don't want to be trusted by anybody. Shoot, I can't trust you. You know,
yeah,
it's just like I can't trust them. You know, so it's just like, why are you gonna say you can't trust me? I can't trust you either. You know,
yeah.
there's a drawing, two businessmen shaking hands, right? And then there's a snake coming from under his collar and biting his wrist, right? And it just goes to show you that nobody can be trusted nowadays. You
Right.
know, it's I think that era where I was at, we trusted a lot of people. You know, and it's just like uh, a lot of them, you know, they already folded, but it's just like because there was a lot of people that folded before we even got indicted. Rab Rios, you know.
Yeah, somebody asked about him.
Yeah, a lot of people. Jason Vasquez Flaco, you know, Eddie Pajaro, you know,
Bandit, Adam Karras.
Adam Karras. All these dudes, you know, they were supposed to be solid homeboys. They already folded. Gibby Garcia, you know, all these
Gilbert.
dudes. Yeah, all these dudes that had already folded. So it's just like, who do you trust? You know, who can you trust? And it's just like people just didn't want that life sentence. They didn't want to be where I was at, you know. And but you know, am I in their shoes? No, you know. So anybody that says that, you know, I don't really take no merit into it, because why would I? I mean, why would I want to be trusted anymore? You know, I'm not.
Right.
It's just like I'm not in that organization anymore.
See, you get a lot of these guys that that try to push prison politics out here in society out here. You know what I mean? On the other side of the walls, man, they try to push that line, that belief system, prison politics, man.
And that's what has me confused, Boxer, because the NF right now is so disorganized because they don't know who to follow. Skip, Chuco, they don't know. It's like a chicken without a head, you know. So who do you follow? Who do you follow? You're pushing prison politics, but what politics are you pushing? You know, because what schooling have you had? Who are you falling under? Are they following Chuco? Or are they following Skip? So you gotta find out, you know, who they're following, because you're pushing that politics, but you don't know who you're following. So you know, watch out. You know, keep your eyes open. I mean, just look out. Just look out for you. I mean, come on, because when it's all said and done and the smoke clears, you might be questioned of who you were in solidarity with.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of the individuals that push this narrative right here, bro, that say that, you know, a lot of them are youngsters that, hey man, I don't know how them dudes can, you know, how they can go on with no sense of honor, and you know how they go out ass backwards, and where's the honor and where's the loyalty? But these are same dudes that go to boot camp.
Yeah,
these are the same dudes that run around on level 1 yards, right? You know, a lot of these guys say, I went to the joint and I came out and I'm still good in my neighborhood and I'm still embraced. That's funny, because so am I. But the thing about it is, it's easy to go to prison and come back home and be good if you're not in the thick of it. You're not in the trenches and you're not functioning on that level. Go function in a regiment.
Yeah.
You know, go get indicted with 30 other cats and be looking at triple digits, man, or a life sentence. Then we'll talk about it. But until you've been tested like that, a lot of these dudes don't understand. You got no business even being part of that conversation, because you don't know what you're talking about. You know, how many times have you seen it, bro? Jerry, how many times have you seen cats that talk up and down about how dedicated they are, how loyal they are, and as soon as it happens to them, what happens?
They start telling
straight up, and then you're like, see, you get it now, right?
Yeah.
Now that it's your life in the balance, and you've been through it. Now you know now you know how it feels, man. You know what I mean? But it's just young, uneducated minds that speak this fuckery, bro. That's what it is, man. You know what I mean? So I laugh at cats that say that, man.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's just like that's why I told you earlier. Is just don't judge me, because you haven't been there and you haven't done that life sentence. You know, how are you gonna feel about that life sentence?
Not only that, but you know, and I'm not trying to say that that it's right to cooperate.
It's not.
That it's ever justified, right? But there's some of us that we didn't make it a lifetime commitment. Don't get it fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not a lifetime commitment for you. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of dudes, man, that hey, it happened, but it's not a lifetime commitment. Don't think I'm out here continuing to work with the FBI for the next 20 years, man.
Yeah, I didn't. That's like because a lot of these channels, right? I peep game for a year, just laying because I watch a lot of people, and it's
Yeah.
just like, you know, although I do have respect for all these channels, right? I do because they speak well, and Gunner cracks me up, but it's just like, but I look at all these channels, but the reason I'm not interested in going on every channel is because I didn't make a career out of telling,
Yeah.
and I didn't make a career out of, out of snitching, because they asked me to, for that Black Widow case, they asked me
Hmm.
to testify as an expert witness. I'm no damn expert. I'm not no damn. I'm not no damn expert snitch, right? I, I,
Yeah.
I told once I'm not gonna keep on telling on these juries. You guys broke me off a life sentence. What are you gonna handle me a steak dinner next time? No, it's not gonna happen. Because it's just like I didn't want to testify no more. I'm good. It's just like I'm straight. You have nothing to offer me. You have nothing to offer me. You have nothing to give me, and I don't want to do it no more. I don't. Even if you did offer me, it's just like I got my life sentence. Just let me be at peace. And that's the way I looked at it. Let me start. Just give me my TV so I can watch sports. That's it.
Yeah.
No.
Renee Q. You're a fool for that one. Uh, but I get it. And what would you say to some of these young ends who still believe that making ultimate sacrifices for the O, for the NR, or for the movement is a worthy undertaking, and that the fellas still have their best interest at heart?
That's their choice. That's their choice. That's each and every one individual. You know, but can you justify it?
Yeah.
Like you said, can you justify that crime? Can you justify what you're doing? Especially if you have kids. And
Right.
that's another thing I want to bring up. With Pinky, Skip, all these dudes, they don't have kids. They don't have kids. So, you got to look at that also, because they've sacrificed everything like that for themselves because they don't have kids. They don't
Right.
have, they're single. They don't have that responsibility out in the streets, so they can make that sacrifices. Now, people that have kids, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what
Right.
to tell
Yeah, most definitely. Alpha precision. Um,
you. And
yeah,
you
that kind of ties into the next question. In retrospect, what do you think about some of us who became deadbeat dads, who turned on our kids and our families because we opted to run the streets and put a new adopted belief system first?
Yeah, I think that's a coward. Plain and simple. It's just like why are you going to do that to your own kid? Your kid has to come and visit you behind a glass for the rest of your life. That ain't cool. It's just like your kid has to say, where's your dad at? In prison? You know, do you see him? Yeah, behind a glass. When's the last time you hugged your dad? I don't know. Can't remember.
Jerry, you said what you offering nothing. If they told you we let you out right now, would you have taken it?
No, no, I don't. Uh, because where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? I had to take that responsibility for my choices and decisions. And that's why I took that life sentence. Because it's just like I could have fought it. I could have fought it, but in the back of your mind, that's gonna go through your head. Sure, hell yeah, that's gonna go through your head. If they're gonna let you out right now, hell yeah, that's gonna go through your head. But it comes a time where you have to take that responsibility and tackle them beliefs. I learned a
Mhm.
lot on them classes, to take that responsibility for what I did. And I
Yeah.
think that when I went to the board of prison terms, I think they saw that in me. They saw that. That affected me a lot. Sheila, because like I said, it still affects me today. I know everybody say snitching, snitching, whatever, and that doesn't bother me because it is. If you debrief, it's snitching. If you're
Yeah.
on these channels, you're snitching. You know,
Exactly.
it's just like, come on, it doesn't matter if you're putting shit out there, you're snitching. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like if you write a book, you're snitching. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The NF is so secretive that they don't want their business put out there. You know,
Yeah.
it's so organized and so secretive. When I got the Constitution in my discovery, and I was told to give it out, what makes you think that they're just going to give everybody the right to spread that shit out there? No,
Yeah.
they're
Hey,
not.
here's a good one. The I don't want to give this one individual too much time, man. But what do you think about somebody that claims to have been a former, or that claims to, well, still gives off the impression that they're somehow still tied into the NF, that claims they wrote a book and that they got permission from the NF to write a book and give up the blueprints and that it was clear?
Well, I'm not going to speak on that. On that individual, but I'm going to speak on the circumstance.
Speaking in
We had
general terms.
in general, they went through they're getting manipulated. If it's true, they're getting manipulated by somebody that is not within the organization, I should say, because that I've never heard of it. I've never and I'm 100% sure that that's not happening. That's not happening because I've never seen nobody give permission for anybody to write a book. Because it's snitching, plain and simple. It's snitching.
Yeah.
And it's just like I would like to see the person that gave him that permission,
Well,
because
say it was me. Say I said, hey man, the NF gave me permission to write my book. Would you believe me?
no, say boxer.
Exactly,
I
man.
said, you got some good dope.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey, shit, we blew through most of these questions, man. I'm gonna get some from these guys. I know.
Yeah.
You want to go a half hour. This
Yeah.
is the last one that I got, man.
Let me
For
get
right
about
now.
10 more minutes, and then I'm off.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you would like to say to any young ends that might be watching right now, ends who consider themselves active and who are more prone to following that same path that we took?
Um, just listen to my story, man. Listen to our stories. They end up in destruction. They end up with uh, uh, there's no good outcome in it. Either you're dead or you get a life sentence. A lot of the homies are dead. A lot of the homies got a life sentence, or a lot of people are in the hat. Running for the rest of their lives. So it's a sad situation because
Yeah.
you know I'm an artist. I used to do portraits a lot, but doing portraits for like CEOs or stuff like that, or people out there, you're just doing it just to feed yourself, in there. And it's just like I was dying for a hot meal. I was dying for tamales. I was dying for you know uh, a mole. I was dying for some tortillas. And you crave that stuff in there. I see Skip craving that stuff, and it's just like you do. You can't help it. A lot of people don't know what it like these kids look at a tree. For instance, you look at the shade under that tree. You don't find that in prison. Look at a dog. You're petting a dog or a cat. You don't find that in prison. Look at your girl. You don't find that in prison. Now, who in their right mind is going to give up all that stuff, especially a girl? Who in the hell is going to give up that for the cause? Never to touch that again. It's just like what forms in our mind to say, okay, that's good. That's a good choice. It's not. It's not a
When
good
does it
choice.
become cool? Yeah.
Yeah, when does it become cool? It's not a good choice. And 20 years down the road, after you make that decision, the young ends, whatever, 20 years down the road, just think, where are you going to be? Where are you going to be at? Where are you going to be in 20 years? Are you still going to be flying that red rag? Because it's not there. I was looking at a Kid Frost the other day on TikTok, right? Uh, you know that I had kicked him out of the fair. Well, I didn't kick him out. I just told him to take off the LAX. Him and his homeless. Yeah, I was known for that. I was known for that. But
I heard the homies shut that concert down.
yeah, I was the main one. I was the main one. Told me you got to take that shit off. You know, it's just like yeah, that's not good.
Did you pop a wheelie when you did it?
Yeah, well, I had a whole bunch of homeboys back at me.
Oh man. Let me see, man. Homie said another 10 minutes, so I take a couple more, man, before we wrap this up. Oh,
Yeah, thank you guys for coming in and donating. Like I said, all the proceeds I wanted to give to Uvalde School. So thank you guys for donating, and you know I really appreciate that.
yeah, I'm sure they appreciate the knowledge you dropped to it, and the things that you talked about on
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back.
delete all the real comments. Who's deleting them? Crime time. If it is, man, I ain't deleting them, and there ain't nobody in there got no wrenches. Oh
Yeah,
shit, that was you. Um, Box, can you ask Jerry if you got a question? Crime time, shoot it on. There ain't no discriminating here, bro. Box, can you ask Jerry what the cause meant to him when where he thinks it stands now? King Kong balls, good looking, man.
good looking up. Yeah, the cause meant a whole lot to me because it was different back then. You know, we're talking about 30, 34, 35 years ago before, when I joined. You know, so it's just like it was way different. Well, 37. Dang, I'm getting old. But it was just different. It was different back then, and then today it's just like discombobulated like crazy. It is it's totally discombobulated.
Hey, did you read my book? Renee Q keeps asking about it. Did you
Yeah, I
read
was
it?
in. Yeah, I was in there for a minute.
What'd you
No,
think about it, bro?
I thought that's one of the reasons I came on this channel because it's just like I recognize your book and the way you spoke and the way you know it's just like it goes hand in hand with the way I was schooled, you know, because you're an intelligent individual, you know, and it's just like you're taking that knowledge and going places, you know, and it's just like that knowledge from we just don't get overnight, you know, it comes with experience, and I seen you at it as an experience. No knocking these other dudes because you know I don't know them. You know, it's just like and what they speak of is positive. You know, it's just like you know, and I watch Flacco's channel, I watch Rojo's channel, and I watch Gunner's channel. You know, and it's just like I just lay in the couch and you know I crack up on Gunner, that song
Yeah,
that sticks in my head, but it's just like I said, I watch him. I kick back and watch him, but and then the Josh, you know, I've been watching Josh, and you know, Josh carries himself well, you know, so it's just like you guys carry yourself well, and that's where that's why you know it's just like finally I hooked up with you, and I said, you know what, it's that time, you know, it's that time to put a little bit of my my story out there, you know,
that's
and
right.
it's just like I'm not in it to write a book. I'm not in it to you know do anything. It's just like I'm just here to you know straighten some facts and this and that because I live that life. You know I don't want to keep on reliving it. It's just like it's history. It's part of history.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is, and
Yeah.
that's it's everything you said is appreciated, bro. And
Thank you.
that's why it's an honor to have you on there. Yeah, crime time. I hear you, man. And I've said it, and he said it, and everybody has said it. Yeah, we all know what we sign up for, man, and we all know the consequences. But again, it sounds like you're pushing that super active line, and that's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing, stand on it, catch a life sentence. You know what I mean? Drop 10 bodies, bro. Um, but until you get put in that situation, um, I wouldn't engage with I wouldn't engage in that conversation with somebody that hasn't been through it. I talk that same talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I've lived that life, man. You know what I
And
mean?
box a lot of people that are you know commenting or that I was schooled differently. I was schooled that not come on, let anything be known,
Yeah.
as far as knowing where I'm coming from, because if I'm gonna be a soldier, I'm gonna do it on the under. I'm not gonna come over here because in prison we were cell soldiers. There was a lot of cell soldiers,
Yeah.
right? Now you got cell phone soldiers, so it's just like it where you could push a hard line, but you're letting everybody know where you come from, bro.
Look
It's
at how
just like,
function.
yeah, you're letting everybody know where you're coming from. Have a little
Right.
bit of knowledge. I'm just giving you a little bit of knowledge. You ain't got to come out here, explain that. What you want to do to me or whatever. It's just like that's not even necessary. When the time comes, I know what happens when the door cracks.
Yeah.
I know what happens.
Exactly.
I've been there, done that. It's just like when they pop the door, it's on. But until then, I've had good homeboys that I had good conversations from down south, from AB or stuff like that. I've had good conversation, but I knew
Yeah.
once that door cracked, I knew what time it was. They're my enemy.
That's that. Yeah. That's the lack of experience right there, bro.
Yeah.
But like you said though, when I see certain things come on these channels, when I see threats or indirect threats, it's laughable, man. Because having functioned on that level, I know that no real C is gonna get on there and is gonna say anything like that.
No,
Because
we're supposed.
they move on the slunders, bro. You know what I mean? The same
Yeah.
way that we used to move. I'm not gonna come on YouTube. I couldn't see myself 15 years ago jumping on YouTube and engaging about what I'm gonna do, or where it's supposed to be, or how it, you know what I mean? Or, I wouldn't even had time for YouTube, man. But making the same point, man. But hey, more power to you. Do your thing, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Uh, with that said, man, I hope that you are willing to come back,
Yeah.
man. These
Yeah. I'll
guys,
come back
these
because
guys really want to hear from you again,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah. I'll come back. I see. I got 569.
Yeah, there's 570 over here, man. That's
Yeah.
you don't hardly see that, bro. But I think like I said, I don't throw the word legend out there. I've never had somebody of that status, but um you fit in that category, bro, because you've been part of the history. You're etched in the history, man.
Yeah, and
and
I would say thank you, but it's not even worth the thank you because what did I do to be legendary?
right,
You know,
right, right. I
it's
feel
just
the
like
same way.
yeah,
When
yeah,
somebody will say that I'm not legendary. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
What people had to die before that, and
Right.
it's like so it's kind of a you know sure you get proud of who you were because you weren't no punk and you still ain't a punk till today, but it's just like how many people had to die for that,
Yeah.
it's just like it's unfortunate.
See, that was the final straw that you just showed your ass, bro. You know what I mean? Because like you're a future Besetta. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get into no big old thing with you, but coming on here saying that, man, what are you accomplishing, bro?
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
just
But
like that's what I said. It's just like it's not even worth talking to a person that doesn't even have a picture on their profile.
yeah,
It's just like so. I'm not really tripping, because he's in that new stage where what's that dude 6ix9ine? What the hell's his name?
yeah, 6'9".
6ix9ine. Yeah, 6ix9ine. He's in that era. Just
Yeah,
like
man.
ain't nobody want to take over a PC. It's just like we're talking against
Exactly.
that. We're talking against that. It's just like ain't nobody want to go back to prison. We're not trying to push that prison politics. We're not even trying to push prison. We're trying to tell people stay out. But if they can't see that message, they're blind to the whole
Yeah,
message. The whole message is
exactly.
right. But it's just like to each his own. We can't change a person's mind when he's, uh, you know, he probably has like about 10 homies in the back of him. It's just like can't change his mind. But try being by yourself in a wheelchair, ended up in Chino, try to take on that whole thing. It's just no fun. I was a youngster, so
Yeah, well, we know we can't handle that, man. But
yeah.
hey, bro, I appreciate you coming on there,
Okay,
homie.
okay. Much love,
Uh,
bro. Much love,
yeah,
and
man, and
yeah.
we're gonna stay in touch, bro. Most
Okay,
definitely, man.
all
And
right. I want to thank everybody again, once again. You know,
everybody
both negative and
that
positive.
donated,
Yeah,
it's
people
gonna
that
go
donated.
to
Yeah,
the
people that donated in both negative and positive. It's cool. You know, it's just like we just we just you know, I can say this: I'm not a sex offender. You
that's
know,
right.
so it's just like that's one thing. That's the lowest of the lowest. But it's been fun, Box. You know, I'll hook up with you when next time I want, you know, say something. And, you know, you
Most
guys,
definitely. Hey,
yeah.
but you got the number, homie. Call me. You know, we
All
stay
right,
in
bro.
touch. We stay in touch anyway, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Regardless
yeah,
of the YouTube thing, bro. But
yeah.
hey, man, I appreciate you guys, man. Uh, man, there's 550 names up here. I'm not even gonna try no roll call like that. I'll be here for 20 minutes, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna say, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. You know what I mean, for showing the brother that respect, man, and uh, try to get him back on there again. You guys, shoot your questions, man. Drop them in the comments, and you know, next time we have him on there, we'll it'll be your guys' questions, man. I was gonna say, who the hell is that? All right,
Yeah.
man.
All
You
right.
guys have a good one, man. All right, Jerry.
All right, Box. All right.
Tap
I'll
in
catch
with
you
you,
later.
bro.
All right, late.
All right.